all do our jobs around here, questions, and then one or two on the president. Why not have Ian Briefman here?
Well, Ian was outside and took your questions.
But why not in here like other government officials?
Again, Ian was outside and took your question, and he's been doing that for the last 4 weeks.
Would the White House have revealed today's search if pool cameras hadn't caught the investigators arriving on scene?
Again, this is a question for the White House counsel's office. I would refer.
First one. They introduced another bill to limit the president's authority over the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Because they're mad, I use that authority to lower gas prices by $1.50 a gallon, period. Those of you who were over 40, did you ever think we'd be in a situation where blue-collar workers are voting Republican? No, let's got to be honest, man. Because they think we forgot them. They think we don't care.
Understanding that you can't tell us why the FBI search at the Biden Center wasn't disclosed previously, and that Ian Sams has referred to questions about the National Archives possibly being blocked from sending a press release to DOJ. Understanding you can't talk about any of that. Can you assure us that the White House has been and continues to be as transparent as possible, meaning that where there haven't been disclosures, something has prevented that?
What I can say is what the president has said many times, and you've seen it in our statements, is that we are cooperating fully. The president and his team is cooperating fully, and we will continue to do that. And I'll just leave it there.
I want you all to know. I want you to know, baby. You did so much. And I love your earrings. Thank you. Well, folks, but I reported today on the state of the economy. This morning's report showed that the economy's strong. We added more jobs, over 500,000 jobs this last month, and the recalibration of last month. Children and daycare centers exist that they're.
A separate question. I asked this of Ian Sams outside when he took our questions earlier. I want to ask of you, though, because I think it is for the wider White House, not just the special counsel's office, which is, did anyone at the White House tell the National Archives at any point not to issue a press release about the discovery of classified documents?
I would really refer you to the White House counsel's office, who has been running this process, right, and refer you to them.
Even if it's something that's not just in their purview, it would be wider within the entire White House?
Because this is, when it relates to the DOJ, when it relates to special counsel, this is something.
Karine, what is the current number of documents bearing classified markings that have been found in the president's residences and offices?
I would refer you to the White House counsel's office.
Okay. And Ian just declined to comment on that as well. Just,
there you go. You got your answer.
And we're naming the new tunnel after Frederick Douglass, who boarded this train to freedom right here in Baltimore. You know, as he escaped slavery, he traveled the country by rail, fighting for abolition and civil rights, so that's fitting we honor him in this way. The Frederick Douglass. Look, we have a lot to do. And today, we're announcing a nearly $4 million grant to the great HBCU in Baltimore, Coppin State University, to buy new laptops, to give students digital skills and training that they need to compete in today's workplace. There's nothing we can't do. Nothing. When the hell has America ever set a goal that it didn't reach? When has it ever? Name me a time. Name me a time when America's gone through a crunch and didn't come out stronger on the other side than went in.
Which brings me to May 30th, 2020. Bob and Doug returned to the Kennedy Space Center. They suited up. They waved to their families, and they rode an elevator up nearly 20 stories. They strapped in to their seats and waited as the tanks beneath them filled with tens of thousands of gallons of fuel. And then they launched. Yeah, they did.
But I'm so happy to be able to welcome my president back to the United States Congress, back to the United States Capitol, and he's promised me that I'll be able to sit at my desk tomorrow.
And then on the debt itself, you said earlier that the difference between 2011 and now is the number of times that Republicans have been able to pass the debt limit. on a clean basis without anything attached to it. But the other difference is that the national debt has more than doubled in that time. It now is about $240,000 per household. Does the president believe that that is sustainable?
Well, let's remember why we have seen that the last couple of years, right? I mean, we have seen that it balloon in the way that you just spoke to. Let's not forget the Trump tax cut, the $2 trillion 2017 Trump tax cut.
On the documents case, one of the features of the early public narrative of this episode that has kind of already taken root is the reporting to the effect that statements from this podium at different points later proved to be inaccurate. And without expecting you to delve into the details, because we all know that you cannot from the podium, I nonetheless wonder if you could simply assure us that you challenge that element of this narrative, that you are satisfied personally with the accuracy of all of the information that you've dispensed from this podium.
So, James, look, I'll say at this podium, I will always follow the guidance of the White House counsel office. When I have made statements from this podium on this investigation, it was at the guidance of the counsel's office and consistent with what they have said and wanted to communicate at the time, right? And I have said this, the White House counsel's office has said this. One of the reasons we try not to comment on this is because it's changing, right? Things change and things move very, very quickly. And so I've continued to provide the information that I have had at the time, and I'll continue to do that.
Yesterday, McCarthy suggested that what he would like to see ultimately, if there can be an agreement, is a 2-year budget framework. What's the president's thinking on that?
What I will say is the president's going to put forth his budget on March 9th. He's going to be very clear with the American people. He's going to lay out what he believes his fiscal responsibilities or priorities are for the American people. And we asked the Speaker to do the same. And until we see that, it's hard to talk about timeline. It's hard to talk about specifics because we need to actually see on paper what they're going to move forward with.
On that point, almost 50 years ago, as a senator, Joe Biden voted for a framework or a timeline that has the president proposing a budget first and then Congress disposing of that budget. Why is it the argument here that the Republicans should put forward their budget first? Isn't it the president proposes the Congress?
Actually, that's not what we said. We're going to put out our budget on March 9th, and we're asking Republicans to do the same. Because here's the thing, Steve, what we keep hearing from Republicans is that they want to cut Social Security. But where's the plan? Like, what is it that they're going to lay out to show us exactly?
The law says that the president's budget's due the first Monday in February. Joe Biden's not the first president to be late, but he is going to be late, and it's now 5 weeks from today that you said the budget will come out. Can you explain why it is delayed? I think you were asked this last week, and there was a suggestion that it might have something to do with the omnibus. But is that the reason?
And I basically said the omnibus happened so late in the last session. But here's the thing: the president has made a promise that he's going to have his budget on March 9th. That's what we're going to do. That's what he's going to show to the American people, and we want to see what the House Republicans are going to put forward.